Good morning. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. Black people still don't get it. What you're seeing on your screen now is a lady by the name of Dr. Barbara Sizemore. If you check out her story, you'd be oh so impressed. So do your homework on her. She'll inspire a lot of people. But in talking about uh, Dr. Sizemore, I want to share something. I want to share something, just 10 minutes. It's not going to be long, of some words she shared. She was in that Pan-African movement, you know, but she knew a lot of things. She was just in the club. She's one of those integrationists. You study her history and all that, you'll see. And when you study people like this, you can also see, what went wrong and how we went wrong. So you can learn from everybody. Everybody. So I'm going to share this piece with you. It's only going to be 10 minutes long. I'm just going to share 10 minutes. But check out what she says. And when she's finished, we're going to put how it runs into today. Do Black people still don't get it? Well, listen to what she says. Remember, she's a teacher. She's in the Chicago area or in Chicago itself. And what she says, how we don't get it, she's going to make some very keen observations I think everybody should be aware of. No more talk.
About what's happening to our children in public schools. Now, most of the time when I come over here, that's what I talk to you about, because that's really where my life is centered. But it occurred to me that Alton's been in this struggle, and I'm very concerned about how we're progressing in it. So I thought a lot about it, sisters and brothers, and titled what I want to share with you tonight called Black People Still Don't Get It. All right. For some time now, I have been trying to get the idea over that Black people must take charge of their lives and those of their children. We can't leave this to other people to do, because they're not going to do it. And we cannot sit around wringing our hands and shaking our heads and talking. It's getting late, brothers and sisters, especially for our children. Now, when it gets to the point that the way we live is destructive and leads to our extermination, then we have to think about what has happened to our culture. And we need to take a long, serious look at our condition now. Amen. Go right there. Go ahead. If culture is the sum total of artifacts which any group accumulates in its struggle for survival and autonomy, then it's dynamic, because it's a struggle. It's not static. It doesn't stand still and never change. It changes with the condition, okay? Because as you try to survive and to be self-autonomous and the conditions change that keep you from doing that, you change in order to combat those conditions. Am I making sense to you? Okay. Now, what is survival? I mean, you know what? Survival means that the group has to do at least three things. One, the group has to see that each individual member keeps himself or herself in good enough mental, moral, spiritual, and physical health long enough to reproduce that self and then take care of whatever you reproduce. That's the least. If you don't do that, the group dies. It's gone. Okay. So that's what survival means. In order to be self-autonomous, it means that the group has to have within its control the means to assure its survival.
Yeah. All right.
You can't depend on nobody else to do that.
All right.
That's not going to happen. That's not the way the world works. Now, what are the chief obstacles to survival? Okay, let's just be real. What are they? One is nature. You got to have within the means of the group some way for the group to survive earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever. All right. So nature is one. Other men and women who might want to take your land, water, means of survival. All right. And yourself. All right. You can't become no cotton picking drug addict, alcoholic, kill yourself. All right. That's right. Okay. Those are the obstacles. Now, the culture that we pass down from generation to generation is supposed to help the group to survive and to be self-autonomous. The major way that we pass this culture on is through what? Groups, family, church, school, organizations like this. Those are the means. Okay, now, unfortunately for us, we live in a country where the overriding values of the country are against us. For instance, these overriding values put in the positions of privilege people who are white, people who are male, and people who are wealthy. And these three groups dominate the society. So when we talk about teaching our children instrumental values like equality, liberty, fraternity, etc., we are talking about ordering those values under the institutional values of race, gender, and wealth, so that more white people get equality, liberty, and fraternity than black people, more men get equality, liberty, and fraternity than women, and more wealthy people get equality, liberty, and fraternity than poor people. You get it?
All right.
All right.
All right.
It doesn't do enough then, ladies and gentlemen, for us to teach our children about the instrumental values, you know, if we don't teach them the impact of the institutional values on the distribution of the latter. Otherwise, our kids don't get the full message and don't know how to behave. Now, when I was a young woman looking for a job in 1947, the newspapers would advertise, "No Negroes need apply." Right? Chicago, Illinois, March 28, 1947, Chicago, Illinois. I did not say Mississippi.
All right.
North, I was up north. All right. Right. So what did that say? That said that on March 28, 1947, when I was looking for my first job, affirmative action was for white people. Now, just because we didn't call it that then, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't mean it wasn't. And now that it's our turn to have affirmative action, it's suddenly no turns. No turns. It's always our turn, right? It's always white people's turn for affirmative action. Nobody else gets a turn. So much for taking turns. But isn't that what we teach for 2 weeks in kindergarten? Oh, the teacher tells you your child has to learn to take a turn. We teach him take a turn in kindergarten. Take a turn in first grade. Take a turn in second grade. Wait your turn in third grade. Don't bat in fourth grade. Stay in line in fifth grade. When you get to be an adult, you stand and queue up at the cashier. Take your turn. Wait your turn. But don't nobody take no turns in this country. It's always the white man's turn. It's always the rich man's turn. It's always their turn.
All right.
So much for taking turns. In 1954, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Plessy versus Ferguson, which legalized Jim Crow. And the overt racism that we knew as Jim Crow was forbidden. And most Negroes, now calling themselves Black, thought the problem was solved. Black folks just didn't get it. We just didn't get it. We thought that the problem was segregation. But segregation was a symbol of the problem. The problem was this institutional value system of race, gender, and wealth. That's the problem. And ladies and gentlemen, it still is. The United States is not a democracy yet. It's trying to be, trying to be. And I always tell my students when they say, I'm trying to do it, Miss Sizemore, I say, come here. And I say, I'm trying to hit you. I'm trying to hit you, right? I'm trying to hit you. And then when I finish, I said, did I hit you? And he said, no. I said, so much for trying. Right? But the United States is a capitalist country. It is that. Now, if it can be a democracy within the parameters prescribed by the capitalist paradigm, it does it. But when it can't, it won't. The basic premise of capitalism is to make a profit by any means necessary. And the unit of measure is the United States dollar. And ladies and gentlemen, it is taboo to teach this to your children. When I say taboo, I mean it's forbidden. For instance, if anybody gets up in front of a class and tries to teach the children about capitalism and how to be a capitalist, they are immediately labeled socialist or communist and run out of the room. Right? It's a taboo. Don't you think that's strange? That in a capitalist country, we cannot teach our children to be capitalists?
So if you want to go check this out, this video, it's over an hour long. You can find it on YouTube. Dr. Barbara Sizemore, Black People Still Don't Get It. And I would suggest that you do that because it's a cool piece and you can pull a lot of nuggets out of it. So she gave this interview. You see, she was born in 1927. So that's almost 100 years ago. So let's say on this piece right here, she's 60 years old, 65 years old. Is what she's saying, and this piece was probably done in the late 1980s or early 1990s. Is what she said, Black people still don't get it. Is it still viable today? Do they still don't get it 30 years after what she said? I put the link to the chat. I posted it. Please, we'd like to hear your thoughts, your ways of doing things a little bit different, how you see it when you look at it through your eyes. Because one of the things that so-called Black people, African Americans do before they do anything else, they look at it through somebody else's eyes. They say other people words. And most won't get what I'm saying. And so this is why I want to share the piece what this woman did. Because if we're not moving forward, like she's saying, we dead. If we're not moving forward, if all you're saying is the same shit over and over and over again, and when you're asked to explain it, you can't. And when it is explained, you don't get it. She's right. Black people don't get it. I mean, this 2025, this woman would be 98 years old today. How far are we away from what she talked about? Patricia Griffith says still viable. So how come Black people don't get it? You had 30 years after her. Still don't get it. Why? Why don't you ever get it? Why Black folks don't ever get it? Their mama went through it. Their grandmama went through it. Their great grandfather went through it. They going through it. What is it where they don't get it? How was that done? How was that possible? How is it that Black people don't get it? Especially today. And if you listen to the talking points on some of these lives, if you hear the talking points, you'd be embarrassed. What they're talking about, what they're saying, what they're arguing about. So, like I said, was she saying? And Patricia said, "Yeah. How come? How come Black people still don't get it?" I want to hear your answers. What you say? So you get the information, you process it, you analyze it in seconds. What you say? Not what somebody else says, not what I say, what you say. And, from what I'm seeing, all we do is take what other people think and say and live vicariously through that. Everything. And just pass it on to your kids. Pass it on to your hands. So check out Dr. Barbara Sizemore. Seriously, that piece is a good one. But check it out. Also, pass it on to your youth too. The people who are up under you, who are going to take the baton from you. And let them know your children are your replacement, just like your mother and father's replacement, just like their mother's and father's replacement, and so on down the line. And when you get so far back, when you're doing your genealogy, when you get so far back, you should be able to recognize that you are those people today in the flesh. All the things that you want and you wish for and hope for and pray for, you have that all around you. Somebody in your family is fast and track. Somebody in your family is good at cooking. Somebody in your family can run 100 miles an hour. You have everything you need around you. And they're not black. They're from what the land says they are. Who are they? Where do they come from? Where do they live? What minerals do they have flowing, feeding their body? You get the minerals from the land. Because we look really ridiculous doing DNA tests, paying another person to tell you who you are. For real, cuz? For real? And you just take a blood test. The minerals in your blood are going to be the same minerals in the land that you come from. Don't you know that's why they take your blood? Oh no, you give it away. So black people still don't get it. Don't care. Arrogant. So she was really nice. And like I said, watch the whole thing. You'll be 10 times at least more intelligent than you are now. It's only an hour, the time of a TV show. Check out what the sister says. It'll change the way you think and the way you look at the world, the way you look at yourself. She was one of those people. So I'm going to go ahead and end it now because everybody get their Saturday started. And we catch you next time. Peace.